was into it. I mean,
that
was probably the most live I've ever seen a San Francisco stadium, and maybe since the Bill Walsh
Montana days.
Yeah. Packers head coach Matt LaFleur is the first head coach to reach the conference championship in his first season since Jim Harbaugh led San Francisco to the NFC Championship in 2011. In that victory over Green Bay in Week 12, Garoppolo passed for 253 yards and 2 touchdowns without an interception. It was a career-high 145.8 passer rating, and I'm pretty sure that was the game in which you invoked the great James curse on him, James, by calling him a great quarterback.
No, it was the next game against the Saints where I called him a great quarterback.
Oh, well, I was only one game short. The 49ers Niners got 6 sacks in the divisional round. That's tied for the second most in a single postseason game in franchise history. Packers have won 2 of the last 3 versus the 49ers, but that one loss was highlighted earlier, and it was under Matt LaFleur. This game, I think, all comes down to defense, and the 49ers simply just have a better one. And so I will go with the San Francisco 49ers. I will not be betting on either of these games via point spread because I don't trust that the Niners – well, I do think the Niners are going to win, and I do think that their defense is stout and probably could win by a touchdown and a half. I'm just not willing to give up that extra half point. If it was 6.5, maybe. But even then, I think this is going to be a close game. This is one that's going to come down to the end of the game, who's got the ball last, who wants it more, whose defense makes a big play. They're coming in angry. Throw out all the cliches. It's going to be there right there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, definitely. And look, last week against Minnesota, the Niners pretty much knew what they had to do. They took away Dalvin Cook. They made Kirk Cousins try to beat them, and he couldn't do it. Taking away Aaron Jones this week will be key. I don't know if they want to get into I won't call it a shootout, but if they have to match score for score by passing, I'm not. Look, I've been critical of Garoppolo all season. I'm going to remain critical until he plays more consistently. And last week, he almost gave away an easy score to the Vikings. Granted, the defense held and only limited to a field goal, but that was a horrible interception he threw last week against Minnesota. He definitely should have seen that lineman dropping into coverage on that slant route. That was a predetermined read, and he had no intentions of going anywhere else. So he can't make those mistakes this week.
No, he can't. And I know that the 49ers are my boyfriends, so I obviously have a big reason to be rooting for this team.
How have your boyfriends done over the last couple of seasons?
I will tell you, though, well, they lose to my husbands. The husbands are gone, so the boyfriend should have no problems winning. However, I will tell you this, James. At the beginning of the year, I got this free bet on one of the betting sites, and I don't remember which one, which is driving me even more crazy because I can't find the ticket. But I took that free bet, and I put it on the AFC to win the Super Bowl. Clearly, I thought my team was going to be in it.
Your team was going to be there, right?
Right. Clearly, I thought my team was going to be in it. But still, I will now have to face this weird predicament of the 49ers might be in the Super Bowl, who are my boyfriends, or the team that could win me a decent amount of money off of a free bet. I don't know. I'm going to be so conflicted. My brother-in-law is already like, it's not that hard, Jay. You root for the team that's going to win you money.
Yes, you do.
Screw your boyfriends. Take the money.
Oh man, yeah. I don't see what the conundrum is there, Jay. I mean, you're the only one waffling over supporting your boyfriend, but you know, find a ticket, get the money, man.
I will find that ticket. I'm definitely going to get that. All right, so that brings us to the end of our playoff preview. It's time for some non-playoff news, and we have some breaking news coming to us right now, James. I don't know. You mentioned that you didn't want to watch the national championship last week on the show, as we did a very brief preview of that. But
I didn't watch it.
At the end of the game, LSU beat Clemson. Odell Beckham Jr. was there handing out dollar bills, to all of the other players on LSU. Which was quite odd, and also, by the way, an NCAA violation.
Yes.
This report comes to us on Twitter at Ross Dellinger, saying, per multiple outlets, an arrest warrant has been issued for Odell Beckham. He's being charged with simple battery. He slapped the rear end of a cop during the LSU postgame locker room celebration. Happy Thursday.
Are you serious? That's what the one. Okay. So I'm both humored and enraged by this for multiple reasons. I'm going to assume, because I haven't looked at the article yet.
See if the rear end is a woman. I have the video here. I'm going to hit play. Nope. It was a gentleman who did not appreciate the slapping.
Okay. So it was a guy. Okay. So there goes my assumption. So that cleans that up. So it's not going to be more uncomfortable than what I expected. Male cop, you're in the locker room of a football team, and some, guest, if you will, allowed in the locker room, along with media. One would think, being in Louisiana, he's never been in a football locker room that celebrated a championship before, considering there have been plenty of championships in Louisiana, both college and pro, over the last decade or so. I hate to go into this boys will be boys mindset, but look, we talk about how football traditions, tendencies, the way players behave in the locker room, whatever, are ingrained into their DNA as players. And yeah, some things probably should change to go on a, PC tangent slightly. But they're going to be raunchy juveniles in the worst sense, regardless, because celebration and they're football players. And I know those are not, decent reasons of any sort. But this is the nature of the beast that is football. And some of these things are not going to change anytime soon. You took offense to being slapped on the butt in a locker room by an NFL player. I'm still, this screams of money grab to me. And because he's law enforcement, they're pushing this through so that, I don't know, he can get paid. I feel like this is going to come down to nothing happening legally, but a civil suit will come out of this.
That's really interesting. I will tell you right now that the penalty for simple battery in Louisiana is up to 6 months in jail, a fine up to $1,000.
Yeah, I'm looking at that too. So let's see. The 6-month sentence will be vacated. The fine will be jacked up.
No, you can't.
Some agreement.
You can't make the fine higher than $1,000 for simple battery.
Well, here's what I mean.
It's got to be less than.
They'll come to some agreement, and this cop will get paid in some way, shape, or form. So in lieu of a fine, this cop will see something.
It's only a misdemeanor offense. The cop can't do anything.
I know the cop can't do anything.
This is you know what? This is what's going to happen, James. This police officer is going to take Odell Beckham Jr. to the People's Court, because this is the type of case that goes to the People's Court. It's a misdemeanor. It's not even a felony. So they're going to make a TV show out of it. Did you or did you not slap the officer on the rear end? I did, Your Honor. Case closed. Penalty and fine waived.
This is ridiculous. Do we have any real breaking news worth discussing?
We do have some more news, and
not to belittle this. Because it's a well-known, prominent NFL player.
Hey,
misdemeanor assault. This is, oh my God. it's reaching.
If we're on if we want to continue with the criminal activity, Julien Edelmen was recently charged with vandalism as he was caught jumping up and down on the hood of a Mercedes in Beverly Hills. Good job, Jules.
Yeah. Right. That's a little bit more serious than slapping a cop on the butt.
That he's going to have to pay. He's going to have to pay a fine and obviously fix the hood of the Mercedes. I'm sure he'll be able to handle that fine, though. I'm sure he'll be.
That repair bill is like, what? I don't know. 2 months salary for me, minimum.
Yeah, for me and you. For him, it's a drop in the bucket. He was hanging out with Paul Pierce and Danny Amendola, which is an interesting trio.
That's an interesting group to hang out with,
isn't it?
I'm pretty sure. You know what? So I think I know what happened. One of them dared him to do something.
Yep.
And he failed to do it, or he failed to do it as dared, and threw a tirade and just jumped on the nearest car.
Oh, no. I think they dared him to jump on the car, and he said, "You don't think I will?" And did it. That's what I think happened.
Well, it wasn't either of their cars, obviously, because that would have came out in the story as well.
And then the one guy who did have a felony charge facing him somehow got it waived out of court, is just going to have to do some public service time and submit to random drug tests, and that's Patrick Chung.
Oh, gosh.
Now, I thought he got caught with like 25 pounds of cocaine or some ridiculous amount and was being charged with trafficking. Yes. And it just gets thrown out of court and he's just going to do some public service? Like, what?
Yeah, because they probably convinced the DA there that he had no intention to distribute, because that's what it was, trafficking and intent to distribute, which could have easily landed him in jail for a long time. So somehow they probably won that argument that he wasn't going to do either of those things, and the plea deal was worked out. That's my only guess. No details have come out, but it's the only logical conclusion, because that's not something that just easily we're arresting you for trafficking and intent to distribute, and we're just going to plead this down to misdemeanor.
Have we got an update on Michael Kendrick's insider trading? I mean,
no, we don't, because he played this year for the Seahawks, and he got injured in the Eagles game. He got injured the last week of the season, missed the playoffs. I think that was dumbed down to fines and penalties that he has to pay, but no jail time.
Oh, that's interesting. All right. Well, let's move on to some draft news, if we shall. It came out that Tua Tagovailoa, Alphabet Man, is going to be ready to throw for NFL teams by April. Now, the draft is on April 23rd. I don't know when Alabama's pro day is. I'm guessing it's way before April. So this will probably be a private workout that he'll do for multiple teams. But they seem to be confident that Tua is going to be ready to throw before the NFL draft. I have asked our injury expert, that being Dr. Rob. Buffalo Rob is actually going back to school to become a physical trainer, I believe.
Sweet.
And he says that, this is something that with modern medicine, he should be fine. There's no increased risk of injury. He's he's young and is a top flight athlete. He should come out of this fine. Now, he says that, and yet Tua's got steel in an ankle. He's going to have steel in a hip, or whatever they did to his hip to fix that. To me, I still want no part of Tua as a long-term answer at quarterback. I know he's got the talent. I just can't trust that he's going to stay on the field.
Well, look, if he has any more steel in his lower extremities, he's going to be the $6 million man. But look, if the doctors say he's going to be fine, then, I mean, there's no reason to doubt them. It's all on Tua, how he performs at his pro day. And look, over the last several years, we've seen a lot of mobile quarterbacks in college. pretty much do their own private workouts or the pro day